tapping into your divine power. Each of us has a divine power. You probably know it. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here. Every single one of us has a divine power. Men as well, all genders. And society beats it out of us, okay? The society, Western society that we live in, and different cultures, the culture that we're in and lots of other different cultures, it's beaten out of us. And for men, it's beaten out of them in one way, and for women, it's beaten out of us in different ways. And it's mainly to do with westernized roles, okay, or traditionalized roles. And in different cultures we have different roles, but for many cultures, the traditional role of women is to stay at home, to shut our mouths, do as we're told, look after the house, look after the children, even if we're not in families where we actually have to physically shut our mouths and look after the children. The society that we live in and the culture that we live in tells us implicitly that that's what we're supposed to do. So even if you're a career woman, a businesswoman, a woman who doesn't have children, people are still vilified for not having children, for choosing not to have children. And for those of us who aren't able to have children, I have a daughter, but for those women who are not able to have children for whatever reason, many of them are made to feel like they're not a full woman. And so lots of different ways we are told that what we're doing isn't enough. They want us to do everything, but they want us to do nothing. And so what that does is it separates us from our divine power. And when we're separated from our divine power, we become lost, we become confused. Life can become a case of surviving rather than thriving. And even if you are leading a successful life, you're watching this video for a reason, because success means different things to different people, and it means different things to you at different points of your life. When I was at school, success meant passing my exams, or it meant being the top of the class. I was one of those geeks who was kind of top of the class for almost everything. When I was outside of school, being successful meant being able to do a certain dance that I was learning. I was a dancer as a child. I truly believed that I was going to grow up and be Michael Jackson's or Madonna's dancer, right? I truly believed that. It didn't happen for whatever different reasons. I became a singer. And then when I became a singer, success for me meant getting my first gig, and then it meant recording my first album, and it meant getting paid, and different things changed. When I became a parent, success for me meant making sure that my child had everything that she needed. So success means different things at different times. And when we're always striving for success, or we're always looking for ways of serving other people, but not in a way that fulfills us, we're separated from our divine power. So how can we tap back into our divine power? Well, the simplest way is by tapping into remembering what it was that you loved as a child. If you were a child who was free to do what you chose, free to be creative, free to be scientific, if that was your thing, free to run around in nature, if that was your thing, if you were free to do what you chose and what you loved, then by tapping into that now as an adult, you can start to tap into your divine self. Now, if you came from a household or a family where you weren't really able to do what you truly loved, and you had to either hide it away or you weren't allowed to do it, then it might be difficult for you to remember, and it might take a little bit longer for you to remember what that is. But if you do know what that is and remember what that is, what if you were to just take 30 seconds or a minute to just imagine how it would feel to do that thing that you truly loved? What you loved as a child may have changed. I really loved dancing as a child, but I loved performing, and I still love performing now. That's something that I do a lot. and it's something that I do as a job actually. Now, writing was also something that I loved, creative writing. So I now do a lot of creative writing. I'm a songwriter. I do lots of non-fiction writing, so I create a lot of content. I make videos. I love doing that. I have another video channel, another YouTube channel where I help people with their singing voices. So if singing is something that you love, then you can go into the description or the pinned comment and follow my channel there, subscribe there. But what you could do to start tapping into your divine power is remember that when you improve yourself, it benefits everyone around you, even if they can't see it at first. So you might come up against first of all, you might come up against a self-block. You might block yourself from doing it. You might come up against some resistance from other people who you would usually spend a lot of time serving for their purposes, not doing other things that fulfill you. If you have caring obligations and you've got people that need to be looked after because they can't look after themselves, that's a whole other thing. But if you've got people who want you to do what they want you to do, just because it benefits them and doesn't benefit you, you may come up against some resistance. So what will help you at first is to manage your own resistance, and you can do that by just, as I say, imagining. So take some time. What is it that you loved as a child that you would love to do again? Or what is it that you would love to do? What's something that if you could spend 3 to 5 days doing it without worrying about upsetting anyone else, what would it be? If 3 to 5 days is too much, what about 1 day? If 1 day is too much, what about an hour? So tap into what is that thing that you would love to do. And let's close our eyes, feet flat on the ground. Only if it's safe. If you're driving, please don't do this, but you can still imagine. Close your eyes. Take a long breath in. And take a longer breath out. And imagine the feeling of doing this thing that you love. What are you saying to yourself? What are you thinking? What words are coming up? What can you see? It might come up as a vision, as a picture, as a movie. It might just be a symbol or an image. It might be a word or it might be sounds. It might just be a feeling, but tap into that feeling. And as we open our eyes, if you're able to set aside a minute a day, just a minute a day, or half a minute if a minute is too much, to tap into that feeling, you're going to start to tap into your divine power. You're going to feel the benefits of that, and you'll start to recognize your self-worth and feel a little bit better each day. Stay hydrated. Ciao!